working to keep us the best-fed people on Earth. During March 2025, we salute the men and women of American agriculture.
For agronomy, grain, turf, fuel, and propane, contact Evergreen FS, your one local supplier.
Why work against nature when you can team up with it? Indigo Ag's biological products are sourced from nature's most resilient plants to help give your corn and soy the boost they need to start strong, grow strong, and yield strong. This year, try 2 proven products for double the defense. Biotrinsic Z15 helps stop parasitic nematodes in their tracks, while Biotrinsic X19 gives your crops lasting protection against seedling diseases. Want nature on your side? Visit indigoag.com/bio.
Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today is Tony Harris. He is the city administrator for the city of Clinton. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Seth. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Bracing for these storms, I guess. Another round of them.
Another round. Just like last Friday, I guess, but I think we were fortunate. It wasn't too bad for us.
Very fortunate.
The same.
Yeah, very fortunate last week. Hopefully more of the same today for sure. But I know last night's city council meeting, kind of a doozy. Solar was the topic of conversation, and a lot of folks came out to speak about it. How about that?
Yeah, that was an interesting meeting. I kind of figured that it would be. You know, it was good to see some folks come out and ask questions. There were some good questions being asked, and we knew there were going to be questions, and that's why we had some of the solar company representatives on the phone with us. None of them could make the meeting, but they were on the phone, and they were able to answer some of the questions. But it was an informative meeting. The commissioners decided to have the meeting just to kind of get the public feedback and give them the opportunity to ask some questions and get some answers. It is in the very early stages of this, and I'm kind of reluctant to speak too much on it because I had to educate myself on it, and I still don't know much, and there's still a lot of work that we have to do, the commissioners have to do. Our legal, our attorney, he's got to get clarification on a few things, and one being that 1.5 miles, but outside of the city boundary now. How is that handled? Lots of questions that we have to get answered, and I'm hearing 2 different sides of it on permits and who handles those, and we just need to get clarification.
Sure, yeah, well, and like you said, early stages, but man, a lot of interest in this in Clinton, and I know cities around us, it's the same thing. These solar companies see some vacant land, and they want to develop in those spots. So it's a growing topic for sure.
It is, and as Commissioner Wise mentioned during the meeting, he went to Chicago this last weekend and driving north and just about every city or village that he passed, he mentioned that there was some kind of solar going in. So it's a hot topic, and we need to jump on board and figure it out and get our legal issues answered.
Sure. Well, I'm sure the council and probably planning and zoning and all those things will have to work through a lot of things in the years, maybe even months ahead. So
there will be. I'm thinking that it will be months, if not years, like you said. We just, as the city administrator, I told the commissioners we need to take our time on this, and that's one reason why they scheduled the meeting, just to have public input, just to inform the public. But we plan to take our time on it. Prior to me, they had another company that they spoke to that was interested in going just north of the Webster apartment area, and there was some discussion on that, and even some votes that were taken on that. So that's the first step, but we're going to take our time. Educate ourselves before we make any decisions.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, Tony, we talked about severe weather at the top of this. More is anticipated here coming this afternoon. And obviously springtime in Illinois. I'm sure this won't be the last bout of it. I know last time or time before you were in, you spoke to the. And gosh darn it, I'm blanking on the name of the alert system that you get. Hyperreach.
Hyperreach.
Yes,
yep.
Hyperreach. Let's remind folks about that this morning, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's important. It's not just for weather, but the issue that we had my my very first day on the job in this new position, I had to deal with the water issue and concerned citizens not being notified. But now for probably 5 years, we've had the hyper-reach system in place at the county level that I once managed through the 911 center, and now at the city of Clinton. I mean, the city had it back then as well. We still have it. That's one way to get notified of weather warnings and also any kind of city notifications that we put out. More often than anything would be the boil order notices and things like that. And that's hyper-reach, like you said. And to sign up for that, you have to sign up, and you do that on the Clinton website. The City of Clinton website, which is clintonillinois.com.
Okay, sure. So check that out. Now, notices are very customizable in terms of how you receive those. From what I understand, though, not necessarily when you receive those, correct?
That's correct, yes. Just a word of caution. I think I mentioned this last time that if you choose to get the weather warnings, you will get those at all hours. That could be early in the morning, late at night. So you will get those. So there, you can't really indicate whether or not you want them at certain times of the night or day. But we highly recommend that the citizens of Clinton go in and sign up for that if they're not already signed up for it. If they need assistance, they can contact City Hall, and we can assist with that. But again, that's how the City of Clinton pushes out information.
Gotcha. Very good. So, again, to stay up with what's happening this afternoon in terms of weather, that's one way to do it. Just a lot of ways that information is going out here these days. Very good. So, Tony, I'll tell you what, let's dive into some city business. Tony Harris is the Clinton City Administrator, our guest in studio this morning. We follow up the Tuesday night Clinton City Council meeting. If you don't mind, I want to go back to two Tuesdays ago and ask about the amending, creating codes 4-1-5 and 12-5-13. Do you remember those? And what is that?
Yeah, that was my understanding. That was suggested by our legal attorney, John Hoblet, basically to clarify some language that was asked that we clarify. Basically, to it's kind of beefing up where we can issue citations and daily citations if need be on abandoned properties with abandoned vehicles, garbage, things like that. We're going to get very serious on trying to keep these properties tidied up. And on a side note, Chief Lowers and I, he's kind of educating me on some parts of the jobs. One be the city ordinance, and we were out going for a ride yesterday, and he was pointing out some issues that we're going to talk about and try to take care of. And we noticed a lot of furniture that I don't know if people are doing maybe spring cleaning and putting furniture out on the curb, and the common garbage pickup is not going to take stuff like that. So that's one issue that we're going to be working on, but that's not really got anything to do with what you just mentioned. But basically, properties that need to be taken care of, like I said, with the garbage, abandoned vehicles, things like that, or just properties that are in disrepair.
Yeah. So like I had my fence blow over in the storm Friday. That's not an issue.
We're not real concerned about fence. Most people, when something like that happens, they're going to get it fixed. But if it's something like that goes on, or it creates a nuisance or some kind of a hazard, then that's where we're going to step in and try to take care of situations like that. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was a little worried about that because I'm having a hard time with my fence right now. It is terrible. But anyways, so with that, one thing I wonder about with that is like absentee owners where they may own the property but they're not in Clinton. How do you handle that? That's a challenge. Definitely a challenge. That's where we have to locate. We use every resource that we can have, and Chief Lowers will help with that as well. Chief and I, we work together on this. We're getting ready to hire an ordinance officer that's going to be out on the street. We did an interview last week on that. So between Chief and I and the ordinance officer, we're going to be working on stuff like that, and that's one piece of it too. And that's a very common problem where a house is not being lived in, but yet major issues with it, where it's just disrepair.
Right,
and,
right.
And we want to try to take care of those. There's several of those homes around the city of Clinton that we've got eyes on, and we're gonna try to take care of.
So what happens when, like, let's say, like maybe that absentee owner says, okay, this isn't worth it anymore, I'm just going to tear the place down. What happens to the property after that? Is it just a vacant lot that they own? What happens there?
It is a vacant lot that they own, and there's been a few times. I'm not quite sure how many. I'm dealing with one right now on Bissell Street that we're going to demolish, where the owner just turned it over to the city of Clinton, basically because there were several fines. We were trying to get compliance. Again, let's back up. It's not that we don't want to keep contacting the homeowners. We don't want to issue citations. We want compliance. We want the best for the city of Clinton. We want the city to look tidy and clean for visitors that come in. This one over on Bissell Street is near the Homestead. It's an issue with the apple and pork traffic. We want people traveling through to be attracted to the city of Clinton.
Yeah.
And when they see disrepair in homes and yards, things like that, then that's sort of an issue. So that's what we want to take care of. But we're looking for compliance.
Yeah, sure. And speaking like from a devil's advocate perspective, a homeowner may feel targeted because they live on a right of way, whereas maybe a home tucked back into one part of the town where there's not a lot of traffic. Maybe they've got a few things out in their yard, and you're like, well, you're targeting me, but what are you doing about this place? Like, what? Yeah. How do you handle those things?
Well, and that's a real issue too. We don't want for someone to feel like they're being targeted. The property that I mentioned on Bissell Street, that's no one would even know about that property. It is tucked away. So it's not just the main traveled areas. It's we want to try to get compliance all over the city of Clinton. So and this is we take it serious, and it is a very delicate conversation piece, and we don't want to target people. But then again, we want what's best for the city of Clinton as well.
Sure. Very good. Anything else on that, Tony, we didn't touch on?
I think we touched on all of that.
All right, sounds good. Well, let's take a break here, my friend. Come back with some more. Tony Harris is the city administrator for the city of Clinton, our guest in studio, following up the Tuesday night Clinton City Council meeting. More to come with Tony on The Morning Show.
WHOW.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Prevention is the key to staying healthy this winter. Hi, I'm Paul Scarron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. Prevention is the key to wellness in cold weather, but if prevention doesn't work, the Warner Hospital Walk-In Clinic inside our Family Medicine Center is your backup plan. No appointment, no problem. From the simple sniffles to the flu, we can help you feel better fast. Come see us at the Warner Hospital Walk-In Clinic, where we offer quality, compassionate care close to home.
If you're looking for a local, full or part-time job in Central Illinois, there's an easy place to go to find current job openings. It's IllinoisJobPost.com. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. You'll find jobs available near you. And the best part is that it's free for candidates to access 24/7. If you want a local job, when you don't have to spend a lot of money on gas to get to, then you want access to IllinoisJobPost.com to check out current local job openings. That web address again is IllinoisJobPost.com. Another service from your friends at the Miller Media Group.
Serve Pro of Piatt DeWitt counties for fire and water restoration, reconstruction, and now duct cleaning to keep your air healthy. Find out how they can help you by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. It's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW. WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, Tony Harris. We follow up the Tuesday night Clinton City Council meeting. And, Tony, a couple things out of the council meeting last night, in particular, around Kiwanis Park. What's going on? A lot of progress here, it sounds like.
Yeah, we're gathering steam again. As you recall, the park was, the wooden structure was failing, and it was torn down last fall, I believe it was. This was prior to me. Taylor, the former city administrator, worked on that, and he took the project before city council and got approval for new equipment, ADA compliant equipment, in the tune of $220,000. So it's not a cheap project.
No.
It's very expensive.
Nothing's cheap anymore.
Nothing's cheap anymore. But diving into that, Commissioner Ballinger asked me to work on it. Diving into that, that's one of my first job duties that I actually enjoyed working on. I think this is going to be a great community benefit for the citizens of Clinton. As you recall, a lot of kids use that park. Parents use it as gathering place. So the city of Clinton should be very proud of that.
Yeah.
That location anyway. But
a story I want to share with you, Tony. A buddy of mine, he went out west with his family around October when that park came down, right? And so we watched their dogs, and so he was coming back to get the dogs one afternoon, and they drive by Kiwanis Park, and his little kid just like looks over, and it's gone. Kiwanis Park was there when they left, and now it's gone. And he starts crying in the car, and they walk in the door, and he goes, "Where's Kiwanis Park?" And I was like, "Don't worry, they took it down, but they're gonna put it back up. There's still gonna be a park there." And he was relieved to hear that. Yeah. So I mean, that kids get attached to that place. You know what I mean? It was one of the best playgrounds in town, in my opinion. It really was.
It was, and I remember 23 years ago when the park was built. That was a lot of community involvement during that time. And I remember that being a come together moment where the citizens of Clinton, teenagers, commissioners, all came, and businesses came and donated time. That was a great time for the city of Clinton, just pulling together and building that. But it was an all wood structure, 20 years old. It was aging. It was very dangerous. So it was torn down, but now we're in the rebuild stage of it.
Yeah, yeah. So what's the outlook on getting that thing back up?
Well, part of what I ran into, I mentioned the $220,000. That's just for the equipment. When I was digging into this, I noticed that the other piece of it, the two other pieces of it, the install was not approved. That's what they approved last night, and the flooring, the surfacing of it. It's like a rubber surfacing that's ADA compliant for children and wheelchairs can be on it. That was never approved, so that's what got approved last night. And then there's some other lighting, sidewalks, that's not approved yet. That's going to be another $107,000. So the entire project is going to be over $500,000. So no, it's not cheap. There's some things that I'm working on. I'm working on a T-Mobile Hometown America grant. It's $50,000, and this grant is again from T-Mobile Hometown America, where they're investing $25 million and 500 rural towns over the next 5 years on shovel-ready projects, and one being parks. So. I'm in the process. By the end of the month, I'll have that submitted. So that's my avenue that I'm working on to try to alleviate some of the costs. $50,000 on a $500,000 project is not a whole lot of money, but it's a little bit.
A little bit goes a long way sometimes, right?
So that's been kind of fun. Writing that grant and reaching out. It requires letters of support, which the radio station wrote one, and I appreciate that.
No problem.
Just working on that, working on the grant, and getting the letters of support. It's been fun.
Yeah. So is there like an ETA on when that may go up?
Well, we were kind of at a disadvantage mainly because this was not taken before the council to get the approval for the install. So we were a little bit behind the 8 ball on that. We thought, we were hoping for May, but once we discovered that didn't go through the proper channels to get approved, we were delayed a little bit. So now it's looking more like July and August.
Oh my goodness.
We're still, we're very disappointed in that. I know Commissioner Ballinger, he was thinking that this was going to be done in May, but it's not, and it's very unfortunate. And but it is what it is. We're working on it. Now that we discovered some of this, we're working as fast as we can to get that install date. Public Works Director Steve Lobb, he's going to have a meeting with the Cunningham Recreation. It's the install group. They're going to come out and do a site visit and let him know what he needs to do to get the site ready. So the work is starting.
Yeah, very good. Well, disappointing, but hey, at least we'll get there. So definitely. All right, Tony, let's see. Anything else out of last night you want to mention from the Tuesday night Clinton City Council meeting?
The facade grant, I'm happy to announce that, that was put on file. It hopefully will be approved at the next meeting, and that's something that business owners can, especially up in the uptown area, can maybe keep in the back of their mind. Again, this is all part of the, we want to keep the city of Clinton looking tidy and clean, and that's one option. That's through the TIF district, and that's a facade grant that was put on file for 212 and 214 East Main to give that building, those two addresses, a new look.
All right.
So
what are their plans there, do you know?
Redo the entire front, redo the doors and lighting, things like that. So that was put on file, and hopefully that'll be
approved. Yeah. Are you at liberty to say how much that facade grant is for?
If I remember correctly, I think it was about $80,000.
Okay.
The city pays half of it.
Oh, okay.
And I could be wrong on those numbers.
Got it. That's still a heck of an investment.
It is. And that's a good investment for the city too. It's good for the city in the future too, for expansion, things like that.
Yeah. What is the letter of intent? IDOT job C95113 What is that?
I'm not sure about that. That's I didn't have anything to do with that. That was all done through the city clerk. So I can't really speak on that. I apologize.
Sure. No worries. I didn't know if you knew that or not. So a lot of these things will be approved next month then.
Yeah. Put on file.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, Tony, I'll tell you what. Good stuff as always. Quickly, one more time. I got about 25 seconds. Remind us about HyperReach.
HyperReach can be you can register on the City of Clinton website, clintonillinois.com. Or contact City Hall at 217-935-6552, and we can help register.
Sounds good, Tony. Thanks for coming out. As always, we'll see you next month. Tony Harris is the city administrator for the City of Clinton, following up the Tuesday night Clinton City Council meeting. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network News is now.
WHOW.